I'm going to break down 8 hacks that everybody with a Roku should know. I'll take you through each and every one. Number 5 and number 8 are my favorites. You got to try those ones. Tech it before you wreck it. What's up, geeks? I'm Kirk. These are small little tips and tricks, but collectively, they make your Roku box much more powerful to use. And they'll work on a Roku Stick, a Roku box, or even a Roku TV. I'm using a Roku Streaming Stick Plus to do this demo. I'm gonna start with number 1. This one's super easy. If you already know about this, go ahead and feel free to skip ahead. I've got chapters set up below for you. But this is about changing the look and the feel of the Roku home screen. You've got this normal purplish look, but you can actually change this. Here's how you do it. Jump down to the settings option. When you get to settings, go over to theme, and inside this menu, you actually have multiple theme packs. Now, there's not a lot. I wish there was more, to be honest with you, but you've got a couple of cool options, and you can change to a different theme that kind of is based off a different color. This one is called the Jungle Theme Pack. If I click into that, I can select Get Theme Pack, and it's going to download all the elements. This includes the different colors, the wallpaper, even the sounds, as well as the screensaver. Take a look. Once it's downloaded, you've got the option to remove it if you want to delete it off your Roku, or you can set the theme pack. So I'll set that theme pack, and now look, it transforms the entire look and feel of my Roku interface. I find that most people have no idea this is an option, and everyone's got it set up to that default look. Change the look of your Roku. That's hack number 1. Number 2 is super powerful, especially if you have people in your home who you don't want to have access to certain things, maybe certain categories on your Roku box. Especially if you have kids around, you're going to want to restrict the types of content they can access, and this is how you do it. But as you notice, I've got my Roku box up here, but I've also got my computer because you have to log into the Roku website to set this up. So this is my.roku.com. You want to log into this site with the same login and password as you use on your Roku box. And once you're in here, there's a ton of options, a ton of things you can do in here. One of them is this one under Profile and Settings. It's called PIN/Parental Controls. And what it allows you to do is set up a 4-digit PIN. So in my case, I've already set one, so it says Change PIN. Yours might say Create PIN. So I want to change the PIN. I'm going to type a new PIN in there. I've now saved my PIN. Now I can go back into that same page, and now I've got a bunch of different options. Do you want to require the PIN to subscribe, rent, or buy shows and movies, or add apps? Basically, if you don't have the PIN, you can't even put a new app on the Roku box. Again, if you've got kids in the house, this might make a lot of sense. You can also set it just so that they can add apps, but people can't subscribe, rent, or buy shows or movies unless they've got the PIN. And then below that, you've got parental controls, where you can change what type of content people have access to. If you want people who don't have the PIN to only have access to G, TVY, and TVG, well, then you tick this box here. If you want them to have access to PG content, you tick here. If you want people without the PIN to have access to PG-13 content, you would click here. And then once you click save, it'll save those settings. And now on your Roku box, you won't be able to access any of that type of content or install apps or pay for movies, etc., unless you've got that 4-digit PIN. Again, super powerful if you've got kids in the house and you want to restrict that content. I do want to point out that some apps, Netflix, YouTube, apps like that, they likely will have their own parental settings inside of that app. So just make sure you double check that. This is a good first step at a system level, but you want to make sure you double check inside the app and make sure they don't have a separate set of settings. Many do. Number 3, easily one of my favorites. And if you've got company coming to town and you don't want them to get on your Roku box and jack up your algorithms inside of Netflix or YouTube, because it suggests things based off of what you watch, this is how you can give them their own experience on your Roku box. Now, you do have to have step 2 done. You've got to have the PIN set up in order for this to work. Go to your settings menu, and then once you get there, go down to guest mode, and we're going to enter guest mode. We'll have to put our PIN in order to enter this. What this is going to do, once I enter it, it'll double check, make sure I want to do that. It is now going to reset my Roku box and enter into a whole separate version of Roku where it doesn't have my apps logged in. It doesn't have my settings set up. It's guest mode. It's essentially designed to give your guests their own Roku box for a certain amount of time before they're gone, and you can go back to your previous settings. Take a look. Once it boots up, it's going to give them an interface so they can set up when they're planning on leaving. So for example, if you've got family in town, they're going to be here for a week, they can set that date a week from now as their leaving date, their checkout date, if you will. And then now it's going to give them their own experience until it's time for them to check out. So take a look. All the apps are here. It's just that if they go into Netflix, if they go into Hulu, your logins won't be there. They'll have to log in with their own login. And again, they won't mess up your algorithms. This is great too, not only for family and friends, but also if you're running an Airbnb and you want to set up guest mode on your Roku box for your Airbnb, because you don't want them certainly using your accounts while they're at your Airbnb location. There are a couple of guest options now in the main menu. They can sign out and clear their info, or they can change their sign out date if they decide they're going to stay an extra day or two. And then you can go into settings and go back to guest mode when you're ready to exit guest mode. You will have to punch that PIN code back in to get out of guest mode and then hit OK. Exit guest mode, it'll reset the Roku box and take you back to your personal experience. This is almost like having two versions of your Roku box, one for you and one for everybody else. I love this. This is gonna seem super simple, but I'm surprised how many people don't know about this. If you are like a lot of people and you go into your Roku box and you scroll down and down and down and down to find the app that you use every single day, let's say ESPN, for example. It's number 26 out of 37, but if you're using this every single day, it doesn't belong at the bottom. Well, guess what? There's a really easy way to put the app icons where you want them to go. On your remote, there's a little button that has an asterisk, a star on it. When you're hovering over the app you want to move, hit the star button, and now you'll be given all of these options. The first option is to move the app, which lets you move the app wherever you want it to go. The other apps will move out of the way. Hit the button, the OK button in the middle, when you're ready to lock that app in. Now, if I hit star again, there's another option that simply says move app to top. If I watch this app every single day, I want it at the top, and this will quickly jump that app up to the top. Again, it's trivial, but I feel like a lot of people don't know about this. They're constantly hunting for the apps they want to use. Put the apps that you want to use at the top of your menu and make your life just a little bit easier. Number 5, one of my favorites, and this allows you to turn your Roku box into essentially a digital picture frame when you're not watching something on your TV. And I just feel like a lot of people don't take advantage of this. Okay, so what I want to do is go down again to the settings option and then go to an option called backdrops. And then you select open the backdrops app. And what this app does is it lets you change your screensaver, if you will. They call it backdrops, but it should really be called screensaver. When you select browse backdrops, you'll notice you've got a bunch of pre-set up galleries here. Essentially, if I hit serene landscapes and I set this as my backdrop, what that means is that when my Roku box times out, right? So for example, when it goes into screensaver mode, it's going to show this artwork up here instead of the normal Roku screensaver, essentially transforming your Roku box or your Roku TV for that matter into a digital picture frame in your living room. So for example, this is what it looks like when that screensaver is activated. Very cool. And here's a pro tip. Hit the star button when you're inside backdrops, and then you can change the image duration. You can change the auto start time. How long do you want to wait before it starts the backdrops feature? You can also set a time for backdrops to turn off every day. In the sense, if you don't want these during certain times of the day, you can turn this feature off. This one's a twofer because there's a next level to this feature, and it involves the Roku website again. So let's go back to my.roku.com. On the left-hand side, you'll have a setting kind of towards the bottom called backdrops. Click on that. You can also go directly to backdrops.roku.com. That's the direct link. And then click on add your own photos. And you'll get two options. You can upload from your computer or connect this to your Google Photos. If you want your Google Photos to cycle through on your TV, you can make it do that. I'm going to upload from my device specifically. It'll take me into this page, in which case I select upload photos. I'll select a single photo of me in a banana costume because why not? I want that to be my screensaver. I'll hit done, and that's it. It gives me the option to share this album with friends. I don't want to do that right now, but that's a cool option. And then I want to jump back to my Roku and show you how this pops up in that Backdrops app. Okay, so back down into settings, and we go back to Backdrops again. We'll open up the Backdrops app. And now once we come into this app, because I uploaded photos or connected my Google Photos account in that web page, I now have an option here that says My Photos. If I select that, you'll notice I've got myself in the banana costume. I'm going to set this up as my backdrop. And so now this essentially becomes my screensaver. A picture of me in a banana costume. It is AI generated, which is a whole nother video, a whole nother conversation, but you can take your photos, whether it's through Google Photos or manually uploading them on the website and create your own gallery, which I think is super cool. Number 6 is the Roku app on your smartphone. And to be totally honest, typically smartphone apps for smart TV platforms are hot garbage. But Roku does it right. I'm a big fan of the Roku app. So much so, I created an entirely separate video with my 4 favorite features inside the Roku Smart TV app. And I'll link that right here. I'll link it down in the description. In fact, at the end of this video, I'm gonna pop that video up so you can watch that next, because if you're gonna use the app, I think that's a must watch. But here's the deal. There's just a ton of cool features inside the app. You can use this as a virtual remote control if you lose your remote for your Roku box. You can find, discover, and queue movies and shows inside the Roku app. But the coolest feature is that you can actually plug headphones or connect headphones to your phone and then use the Roku app to listen to your Roku box remotely. Let's say, for example, you're in bed, you don't want to bother your spouse. You can hear the Roku box, no sound coming out of the TV. I think that's a killer feature. Just search Roku inside the App Store. It's for Android, it's for iPhone. If you've got a Roku box, you got to install the Roku app. Number 7 is pretty cool, and I think a lot of people don't know about this one either. You can actually mirror whatever's on your phone, your computer, your tablet, and send it over to your Roku box so everyone can see it on the TV. Let me show you how to turn that on. So go down again into the settings menu, and this time we'll have to go into the system menu, and there's an option in there called screen mirroring, and you want to go into screen mirroring mode and make sure this is turned on. Never allow essentially turns it off. Always allow makes it so anybody who's on your network can connect to this, and then prompt means that if somebody wants to connect, it's simply going to ask you on the screen if it's okay. I'll leave this to always allow because anybody who's on my network likely is allowed to screencast to my Roku box. Now, if you're an Apple user and you're using a Mac, an iPhone, or an iPad, you also want to go into settings and change this setting. Go down to where it says Apple AirPlay and HomeKit. Click on that. That'll actually take you into a full screen app here. The AirPlay app is where you want to set up AirPlay. Just make sure that AirPlay is turned on. Do you want to require a code? I'm going to say first time only, and I would leave that if I were you as well. So that sets it up for iPhones, but make sure those 2 settings are ready to go, and then now you can jump over to your device. If you've ever used AirPlay on an iPhone, it's actually pretty simple. You swipe down from the top right corner, and then you've got a little icon there with some boxes on it. Tap on that, and it's going to give you an option to select your Roku Stick or TV that is now visible to your network. It'll ask you for the code, type that code in, and now it's going to mirror the screen from my phone right there onto my Roku box. Isn't that cool if you wanted to maybe show something to your friends or your family, or maybe you want to play a game on your phone and get everyone involved? When you're done, you can simply hit stop mirroring, it'll disconnect, and it'll go back to your Roku box. So it's super easy on the iPhone, as I just showed you. It's actually pretty easy on Samsung phones as well. The process is pretty much the same. It is not built into Google Pixel phones, unfortunately. They use a different protocol. So what you'll want to do is try to install a Miracast app, M-I-R-A Cast app on your Google Pixel phone, and that should let you do this. But if you're on a Windows computer, it's actually really easy. Just hit the Windows key and the K key, and it should bring up a list of any devices that are connected to the same network. Again, they got to be on the same network, and the Roku streaming stick is right there. You click it, it'll connect. It'll then mirror whatever's on my computer screen over to my Roku box. Cool feature if you're trying to share your screen with your friends and family, or maybe if you have a Roku box at work. This works with most devices. Again, the biggest pain point is going to be those Google Pixel phones, but otherwise it should be pretty easy and painless. Finally, number 8, and I'm glad you guys made it to this one because this is in fact my favorite, and I had no idea this feature existed. Take a look, go down to settings, and this one's kind of hard to find. Go into accessibility, and then you have an option called Captions Mode. And you've got off, and then you've got always on, and then you've got on replay. And this is really cool. If you set it to on replay, I'm not a captions guy myself. I know a lot of people like to have captions on all the time. I don't. But if you do on replay, what that means is that it's only going to show you captions when you're replaying something in a movie or TV show. Let me show you how this works. Okay, so I've got this movie playing. You can see there's no captions right now, but the thing is, if I go back and re-watch a portion, for example, if I didn't hear what they say and I want to go back and hear it again, it should theoretically show me the captions. So something like this, for example, I'm going to go back just about 30 seconds with the back button on the remote, and then I'll hit play, and it should now pop up captions. Look at that. It's going to show me captions temporarily while it's replaying this segment, and then once it gets back to the point where I started, it should turn those captions off. I think this is a killer feature. I don't think anybody knows about this, but it could be very, very, very useful. I do want to point out though, some apps, Netflix, YouTube TV, etc., may have their own caption settings inside their apps that would override these settings. So while this does work for the Roku channel and a bunch of other different apps, it may not work for all of them. You're gonna have to play around with the specific apps that you use to see if that feature works with them. But it's a good place to start, and I do think it's a really cool feature. Do me a huge favor, subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. It helps me grow on YouTube, but it also helps tell me which videos and which kind of things you guys like, and throw a comment below. I'd love to know which of these 8 tips you think you will be most likely to use on your Roku box. If you want to know more about that Roku smartphone app, I'm going to link that video right here so you can check that out. I think that's a must watch if you want to use the Roku app on your smartphone. I've got a lot more cool videos coming your way, demos, unboxings, tech reviews right here on YouTube. Tech it before you wreck it. I'm Kirk.